So thank you for having me once again for part two. Guys, please continue subscribing. So we were talking about the situation in Kenya, and I was telling you about the county governments who are actually employing very few pharmacists. Like you can find in 1 year, a county can employ like one or two pharmacists, trust me. And it's not all counties employing.
No.
Yes, not all. Because
How
in Kenya we have
many counties are there in Kenya?
Yeah, we have 47 counties. So out of the 47 counties, you can find in a year, maybe only 2 or 3 have advertised, and it's only maybe 3 positions, 2 positions. And imagine we are more than 400 who are unemployed. So where do the rest go? Yeah. And when you go to the community or retail, also everybody is complaining about it because you're overworked, like you work for more than 12 hours. The pay is not so good. Actually, if you watched my video on how much a pharmacist earns in Kenya, the community or retail pharmacist was the lowest. Like people earn lowest in that. And that's why people are actually shifting to other areas of pharmacy practice. And I was also talking to another pharmacist from the US, and she was telling me the issue is the same. Like people are running away from retail because there's like you're being overworked and underpaid. And I'm wondering why people are doing that. And I used to think that it's in Kenya alone, but when I interacted with her, I was like, oh, okay, we are not alone.
What is
We are not
happening to
alone.
the pharmacy career?
Yeah.
Something needs to be done. Something needs to be done.
Something needs to be done actually worldwide. I think all of us in the world should come together and come up with solutions that are affecting us as pharmacists, because even if you look at now advertisements of jobs from like other countries, more of them are usually for the medics, for the nurses, for less for dentists, and very few for pharmacists. Then I wonder, okay, people don't need pharmacists anymore, or
they don't need exactly.
Yeah, and we can imagine that pharmacists are the ones who actually control medications, and every patient, 90% of the patients come out of hospital with their medication. So you wonder who's dispensing exactly, who's doing this work of the pharmacist. I don't know.
Okay, I will say this.
So,
like I've been this is oh my god. So I've been to some facilities, right? So it doesn't work the same way, exactly the same way it works in your country in terms of how they post people to different regions. But like I've been to certain facilities where I go to the pharmacy and there's no pharmacist on site. So the people there, you wonder, so what are the people working here? So sometimes you'll be amazed to see a biochemist. Maybe if they try, a pharmacist technician, or sometimes they make the nurses do the job.
Or sometimes someone who's totally never stepped out of the pharmacy.
So they just teach them, okay, just do this, just give. So I think that this also leads to the reason why the pharmacy profession is not respected. Because people think that you can almost do away with your pharmacist, right? That's why it's even amazing. Because I saw one of the videos where you're asking people, what do you think about a pharmacist? Who do you think a pharmacist is? I think because there's not so much education on what a pharmacist is. Even people don't know the use. An average person doesn't know what a pharmacist do or what their day-to-day activity is like. But if you say, what does a medical doctor do? Okay, exactly. Exactly.
And I think also because also if you look at the setup of our hospitals, pharmacists are always just best in the pharmacy.
Yes.
So like go to a hospital, you're just telling people 2 times 3, 3 times 2.
Oh my God, that's the same thing.
So patients do not really know, because any person can say 2 times 2. Any person can say 4 times 2. Yes. So I think
any person can say, take this one thing, 1 hours. Everybody can do that. So at the end of the day, people just see you as a salesperson as opposed to a professional body or something like this. So because even here in Nigeria, it's so interesting. Like I'm amazed that this is coming from another country. Because even here in Nigeria, when you go to some hospitals where some pharmacists try to do word rounds, there's always the part also of like the doctors.
Yeah. What is a pharmacist doing in the world? What are you doing here? I even saw another video for a pharmacist in the US. Yes, it came in one of my shorts. And then he was saying patients, because patients ask him like these questions, or other medics, what are you doing with a stethoscope? What are you doing with a thermometer? What are you doing with it? And I'm like, wow, we know also how to listen to your sounds. We know how to listen. Like, we've been trained to do that. So it doesn't harm for a pharmacist to do that. So I think it's something that I think pharmacists, we need to just come out and show our role, show our importance, so that people start taking us like seriously from every other corner of the world.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'm just so amazed because I saw a tweet earlier today, and this is, I think, a UK doctor. I wish I could see it right now. A UK doctor was saying something like, and the tweet, the person has deleted the tweet. Wow. So the UK doctor, the UK doctor was like, okay, so right now, from this year moving forward, if any pharmacist who graduates from the UK, I think according to what he says, is now
Yeah.
automatically a prescriber. Because I don't know if you know that they are prescribing pharmacists in other countries,
Yes.
right? So it's like, why? So he has this question like, oh, they don't have any history of histology, pathology, and that. Like, why would they be able to like prescribe and take on patients, and like it seems like their syllabus doesn't include this other. So what do they
Yeah.
know? Like, in essence, like, why? So I am just like, I was trying to reply the message of Dugo, like, now I see that he has deleted it. I said, to me, really don't know why this thing is like, in every country, most countries, there's always this doctor, pharmacist, like, no, everybody's trying to, yes, the tension is a lot. There's no
Yeah.
unity. The biggest problem, I think, in healthcare is the lack of teamwork at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like, it's the lack of teamwork, because everybody thinks, oh, they don't need, and again, because in the line of things, pharmacists are the last points, because they're the ones that at the end of the day you have to come to get
Yes.
your medication. So
True.
most times, from the patient's point of view, they are already very mentally drained. They just want to come in and get what they want and go. But if, say, in the lines of things, pharmacists are being like somewhere in the middle, I think that the importance of pharmacies will come to play, because there's so many times the pharmacists have saved a prescription, like you see some prescription and you're just like, no, this is
What
not supposed to
is,
be,
yeah.
you understand? So I
Yeah.
think something really needs to be done, because this is really sad for me to hear
Yeah.
that it's really happening in your country. So you say about 400 pharmacists, and in a year, is this yearly?
Like totally. But in a year we can say about maybe 200, because I can see, like, maybe if we say, for example, there are 7 universities offering pharmacy. And let's just assume that out of each 7, 30 people graduate every year. So you can imagine 30 times 7. Those are 210 people in the market every year with no jobs, nothing. So
Wow.
it's something
That's after spending so much. Like, especially
yeah,
people who
those
are
are
not sponsored, and then they
yeah.
come out from the school, and there is nothing. So are you trying to tell me that there is nothing like for a pharmacist like working into a community sector to just apply for a job? You have to go through the.
What did you say? What did you say?
So in my country, there's really nothing like posting, except during the 1 year service
Yeah.
you render, right? Usually jobs are being posted, especially community practice, retail setting. So you can literally like walk into a retail pharmacy setting and just apply for a role. Are you trying to say that there in Kenya, there's nothing like that?
No, you can actually walk in and give your CV, but then at the end of the day, it's if they have an opportunity, they will put it out there. Most companies these days use LinkedIn, so they post their jobs on LinkedIn and then you apply. Um, There's an interview I was actually conducting in my previous company. I put out the job on LinkedIn. And you know how many people applied for one position?
Yeah.
More than 500 people.
What?
Wow, how am I going to go through 500 CVs?
What role was that? For a
It was
pharmacist?
regulatory affairs. Regulatory affairs. Yeah. So you wonder, like, wow, how am I supposed to go through 500 CVs just for the position of one person? So this should tell you that people do not literally have jobs. And it was the job of an assistant, not even like the main pharmacist, an assistant. And it took like that trajectory, 500 people. I was shocked. I was shocked. So I just handed them to the HR, told her, you do your thing, get me 5 people, I will interview them. That's it.
And
Because it was
so now but for hospitals, you can't just walk into a hospital and so just right?
no, you can't.
Okay,
You
even
can't.
in
Because they'll tell you
regulatory.
there's no vacancy. You wait until they advertise, then they can take you in. Yeah.
Okay. So is there some sort of benefit that comes with a hospital or a community practice telling you to wait until it's been advertised? Is there something that is beneficial to them and they get? Why do they do this?
So because now you see most people say they're working on a budget. So if you're coming in as an extra person, that's an extra budget. And if they've not budgeted for it, definitely they will not take you in. So yeah, but the easiest that I have seen is a community or retail pharmacy. That's when you can walk in, ask for an opportunity, and you can get. But then the chances of like you'll be overworked, underpaid, same thing. So most people are actually trying to move away from that area and they're looking towards getting other areas that at least you'll be appreciated. Yeah.
Okay. So now I wanted to ask, are you paid hourly? Are you paid hourly there? Or it's monthly at the end of the month? That's how you're paid.
Okay. So it depends on the job. So some jobs, like most jobs, 90%, it's usually on a monthly basis. But then if you get something like a consultancy, you can be paid as per the work that you're doing. Or if you do a community pharmacy, like the retail, there's something called a locum. I know you know what a locum is.
Yes.
So a locum, they pay you like per day. So if you want, like, if you say that you're going to work for 2 weeks, they'll calculate, they'll tell you maybe they're going to pay you $20 per day. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, they'll calculate how much they owe you. Then they give you. But then most people, it's on a monthly basis. So 90% it's on a monthly basis with a few exceptions.
Okay. So the regulatory affair you work in now, is it an international based or like is it locally based?
I work with Novartis. I don't know if you know Novartis.
Okay, yes, I do.
Yeah, I work with Novartis and it's a multinational company.
Yes.
So for them, quite different because previously I was working with now the local ones. First I started with the local one, then I stayed there for 1 year. Then after that, I went to another one that's actually, I don't know if you know Tridem. I don't know if you know Tridem. Yeah, but I've worked with Tridem for 2 years. Then that's when after finishing with Tridem, then I have transitioned to Novartis. So yeah, I think Tridem is sort of becoming a multinational also. Yeah, because I've seen it in so many countries. But then right now, this is my 6th month. Yeah, because I started in January. So this is my 6th month in Novartis and the practice is really different from what I had before. Yeah.
Oh. So all this while are you the one like posting yourself to these places or you apply to the government or how is that for you?
Okay, so regulatory, basically, you're dealing with pharmaceutical industries, which is more of corporate or private. So I don't do like government, it's only the private sector that I've been dealing with since I graduated. So for my first job, actually, I had never heard of regulatory affairs, by the way. So I just saw this job posting in our WhatsApp group. Then I decided, okay, what is this? Let me just apply. So I applied and then I was called for the interview and I was very honest, like I'm fresh from school. I have no idea of what this is. So most of us who applied were fresh from school. So what the employer was telling us, you go find out what this career is all about, then come and tell me what you found out. So I have a sister who's a pharmacist, and I asked her, like, do you know someone who works in this field? Then she told me, yeah, I know someone who works with Novo Nordisk, and then they linked me up, and then he took me through all that I was doing, all that he does, and what regulatory affairs is. So once I finished, I went back for the interview. Then I was asked, like, what did you find out? Then I told her everything that I was told, and then she told me, it's okay, we'll give you feedback. So she just called me and she told me, you're hired. So I'm like, okay, you're hiring me. And I have never been in this field. I do not know anyone in this field. I don't know like what this field is. So I went back to start working, and with regulatory, you have to deal with the health authority like so often. So with that, I just, the way I'm a very social person, I would talk to anyone. So I would talk to them, ask them, like, are there any other pharmacists who are in this field? Can I have their contacts? And I'd meet also pharmacists at the board. I would ask them for their contacts. And this is how I actually came to know of regulatory affairs and practice. Then after that, I went to now my second job. It was actually a referral. So someone referred me to that job, and then they told me, yeah, we have this job. Are you interested? Then I said, yeah, send your CV. I went for the interview, and just like that, I was hired. Then the third one, now Novartis, same thing. Someone told me, yeah, there's this opportunity. Are you really interested? Because I used to talk to pharmacists and tell them, if you get a better opportunity, please just forward it to me. I would appreciate. Then they did that, and that's how I was actually hired. And actually, most of my interviews I've done them online. The first one is the one that I did physical. The second one, it was both physical and online. Then the third one was purely online. Yeah, so I've just got jobs. Like my last two jobs were through referrals and through just networking with different kinds of people. And yeah, that's how I've been able to land these jobs. Yeah.
That's really impressive. I can see that there's certain things that are constant everywhere. And from what I can see from what you're saying is like the willingness to always say, okay, I can't be stuck. So there's this what's next for me, and then there's this tenacity, and you're always looking for you're always networking, which I believe is something that like someone will always tell me. She will say your network is your network. So it's like everywhere is the same. Like there's nothing like your human banking on your human capital. Like just knowing the right people and just telling people, because sometimes the only difference between you and someone who has something you don't have, sometimes it's just the information that you lack. And you can get it from someone else. So like this is really impressive. So from your story now, you're saying that all the jobs that you've gotten, it's not like the county posting you or anything. So why do you think that this regulatory affair now, what's the ratio of like amount of pharmacists that they can take? And why do you think that people are not applying themselves? Is it that people are waiting for the county, or what do you think what do you think the pharmacists are not doing that they should be doing in Kenya? I don't know.
Okay. In terms of regulatory affairs or in terms of like general?
Regulatory, and because now I see that, okay, although like the county posts it to other people, but it seems to be like in the regulatory aspect, a bit of freedom to, to go independently and apply. So I want to see what that's, yes.
Okay, so actually, right now, the shift in Kenya is towards regulatory affairs. So most people have realized, like, yeah, there's a field called regulatory affairs, and this is what it deals with. And every other time you'd never miss, like, per week, I see there's a job advertisement for regulatory affairs because, so many people are coming to Kenya to set up their industries. Some are coming to actually set up their companies so that they can import medicines into Kenya. So there's lots of opportunities in regulatory affairs, and that's where I see most like young people, most young pharmacists are actually going towards that field because of one, flexibility. Two, also it's very easy for you to grow. Like the growth is very exponential as compared to like when you're in a community pharmacy in terms of the salary wise, in terms of who you'll actually interact with. like this field has better opportunities, I can say. And yeah, you can work from anywhere. Like I can, as long as I have Wi-Fi and the documents I need to work on, I am good to go. I don't need to be based in an office for me to be able to do this work. And another, yeah.
Continue, I'll ask you.
Yeah, and another field that I can see that also people are uptaking is supply chain and quality assurance. Yeah, because this one's also like you can look at the time in terms of growth. Like there's high levels of opportunities for growth as compared to other areas. And yeah, people are actually coming up online. I've seen, though in Kenya I'm the only one still pharmacist. I'm the only pharmacist who's online. The rest are there, but once in a while they post, the next minute they disappear. So it's not like it's not constant. So I look at myself like, yeah, let me try and set a pace and trailblaze for these people who are actually coming up. Yeah.
I really must applaud you for the work that you're doing. Yes, and I think you should
Thank you.
keep on doing it because you see that's how I found you. Like, because I'm
Yeah.
for some reason I found you. So it's because of course, I'm sure because of the constant work you're doing, the videos that you keep, and the consistency you keep at it. So really, you're doing a great job. Just keep it up. That's really awesome. So I wanted to ask, like, this regulatory affair looks like such a interesting aspect. And I wanted to know, like, what a day to day looks like for you working at the regulatory affairs. And the job being posted, are they posted in another name? Like, would they post it as pharmacists needed this also, or like, how is the job posting always like? And how do you know, okay, let me apply for this when you see them? And also, you make mention of you having a WhatsApp group. Is that for pharmacists only? You have this WhatsApp group for pharmacists in your
Yeah.
county, right?
So to answer that, we have like a WhatsApp group for different cadres of pharmacists. So like in my graduation year, all of us who did internship are in the same WhatsApp group. And luckily, I mean, most of the WhatsApp group for for pharmacists across, I don't know how I get myself there, but I get myself in most WhatsApp group with pharmacists. And then to answer your question about regulatory affairs, so like in terms of the postings, it's usually like a job that's just written regulatory affairs pharmacist needed for this company. This is the job description, and these are the qualifications that we need. Some post the salary, some do not post the salary. Also, on regulatory affairs, there's an aspect of clinical trials. So they always need a pharmacist who will handle the submissions for clinical trials. So you see, the normal pharmacist, regulatory affairs, will handle finished pharmaceutical products that want to be launched to the market. But then in case of clinical trials, if your company does clinical trials, there's that regulatory affairs pharmacist who majorly deals with clinical trials. And I've seen jobs also for clinical trials and also just for normal dossier submission. So the jobs are usually like very clear. For clinical trials, they specify like you must have worked in a clinical trial setting or handle clinical trial submissions. For the other part, they just say like you must be able to handle like drug registration. You must be able to now do things like variations, retentions. Those are terms that are used in the regulatory affairs field. So that's how usually it's structured. And what was the other question?
The day-to-day activity, like, so what do you now like? What's the day like for you?
Yeah. So a day in life, typically you just wake up, then have your computer, have your job. So they normally, depending on the type of work that you have, but most of us, you deal with medical devices, you deal with pharma medicines, you deal with herbal products, you deal with supplements. I said supplements, and then you can also deal with products called borderline. Yeah.
Yes.
So what happens is the manufacturer sends you different types of documentation. So if you go online and check the website of any country, like for example, in Nigeria, I can go to the Nigerian, is it FDA? Is it Nigeria FDA? Or what is it called?
It's
Your regulator.
It's NAFDAC.
Oh, NAFDAC. So
Nigerian
I'll go
is
to NAFDAC. Yeah. So I'll go to the NAFDAC website. Then I search drug registration guidelines. Then it will give me a list of documents that I need to submit. So if I'm the manufacturer, I will prepare my documents in accordance to those guidelines. If I want to submit my dossier for the medication in Kenya, I'll go to the website, look at what they require, then prepare my documents like that. Then once I prepare my documents, then different countries have different systems. Like for my case right now, I handle Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Rwanda, and Sudan.
For
Those countries.
Novartis company.
Yeah, for overseas products, yes. So I handle for those countries. So you find out that different countries have different requirements, and you have to tailor make your documents to make sure that they suit
So
that.
you do more
Though
administration.
not administration, it's more of like a submission of documents to the HL authority. Yeah, so that you can actually get a registration approval. You know, for you to import a product or sell a product, you need a registration certificate. So my work as the RA pharmacist is to do that. So basically it involves a lot of reading, a lot of documentation, and a lot of networking, because for you to get approvals, you need to know who is at the board. So you need to know so many people in these regulatory agencies so that they can give you that information. So other than that, we do things like pharmacovigilance. So in terms of pharmacovigilance, there's the safety update reports that you need to submit to the health authority. So now Novartis deals with majorly innovator molecules, not generics. So with innovator, this is the first product that is being launched in the market. So you'll need things like risk management plans for your product. Then you need things like patient safety update reports, periodic safety update reports. So much is required in terms of safety, because this is the first product that is being launched into the market. Then after that product is launched into the market, you also need to collect data and give back to the body. So in terms of if this drug was administered to so many people, how many have suffered adverse effects, and how have you taken care of that? So it's a whole lot of like
documentation.
It's really like yeah, it requires a lot of documentation. So basically that's what I do in my day-to-day life. So you just need a laptop and Wi-Fi. That's it. Then you can comfortably finish your work anytime, anywhere, wherever. You don't need to be based in an office like the hospital or the community pharmacy. It's really flexible. Yeah.
Wow. So what's the works? Do you work every day, and from what time to what time?
I work every day, same as the normal person, 9 to 5. I do that. But some other companies, as long as they've given you your work, and then you're supposed to finish your work. If you finish your work, if they give me like this work for this week, I finish on Tuesday. The rest of the days I can do my own thing. But then for us, it's like you have to work every day, 9 to 5. 9 to 5, yeah. So you have to be...
Including Saturday and Sundays?
No. Only Monday to Friday. Only Monday to Friday, yeah. But in my previous company, I used to work Monday to Saturday. My previous 2 companies, but this one I only work from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Yeah.
That's interesting. So can you give me like, okay, now I'm talking salaries now. So can you give me an average of what for each? There's some, I watched one of your salary video, right? I'm going to get to that now, which I really found very interesting. But I think it's a normal though. So can you give me like the salary and what the salary range is for every like sector? Like just a summary. So I'm also going to post a description, my description link for you all, like if you, to see the video of that pharmacy, what the pharmacy ends in Kenya, like the full one.
So generally, I can say all the fields of pharmacy. Generally, someone earns between 50,000 Kenyan shillings, which is about $500 to $4,000. Yeah. So your salary range is between $500 to $4,000. So depending on the category. So I can say, if you own a business, there's someone who owned a business and they say they make like $10,000 per month, good for you. But then if you're employed, let's say now in the community pharmacy or retail, this one lowest paid, your salary range can range from $500 to maybe about 120,000 Kenyan shillings, which is $1,200. That's what I've seen the most person earning in that sector. Then if you go to regulatory, actually, this is where most people earn a lot of money. And it's about the average salary, like the lowest paid I've seen is around $800 right now. And the highest paid is someone who has a consultancy, like they consult for different companies and they earn more than $4,000 per month.
Wow.
Then if we come to the hospital, Now, it depends whether you're in private sector or public sector. So if you're in private sector, then the least I've seen is about $650. Then the most I have seen is about $2,000. Then if you come to now the public, the least paid, now you're working for the government or for the county hospital, the least paid is $1,500. Sorry, I think it's because one went off, so I have switched back to the other camera.
Okay,
so
oh my God, okay, we're going to manage.
So in the hospital sector, we have two categories, which is the private and the public. So the private, the lowest earning is about like $650. Then the most earning is about $3,000 or $4,000. Then now if you go to the public, which means that you're working either for the national government or for the county government, pay around $1,000 So depending on the job group that you're in, pay between $2,000 to $5,000 in academia. Yeah. So that's the range where I have seen most people work and how they're compensated.
Yeah, can you repeat the academia part?
It's about $2,000 to $5,000, depending on the institution you're in, because there's private and the public sector.
Okay, so for the regulatory, right, I find that very, very interesting. So how long does it take you from the base, from like the entry to the consultancy level? Like how long does it take one to get there?
So it actually depends on how you are as a person, because for my case, I have seen people my age doing consultancies for other companies. So it's about just knowing yourself and how you negotiate with other people. Like I said, if you go to the regulatory body, they can actually, like, you see, there's so many people who want to register medicines in Kenya. So if you talk to these people at the board and tell them, if someone comes to you and they're asking for someone to help them, please refer me to them. Okay. That's how like people learn referral. So like if you have your own networks with the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, as soon as you learn this craft, you can actually be a consultant. So it doesn't really need you to have like 3-5 years of experience. As long as you master that craft, you have like 1-2 years of experience. Trust me, you can actually work for more than 10 people. Yeah.
Okay. What about the NGO aspect? Do people work in non-governmental organizations, pharmacies?
Yeah, I've actually seen like very I've actually seen like very few pharmacists who are working for the NGO, and most of them are working for places like AMREF, like Africa Medical Research Foundation, KEMRI, where they do clinical trials, and things like MSH. I don't know if you know MSH.
Yes.
Then there's MSF. There's MSF. I don't know. It's sort of an that people work in. I don't know how much actually they earn, but I would think more than that because it's the NGO world.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. We are already done, like it's already less than a minute. Thank you so much for your time, for explaining everything, for the transparency. I really love this. Thank you for sharing what the pharmacy practice looks like in Kenya at the moment. I really hope that something is really done to the pharmacy career and that we progress and evolve as pharmacists and that we get the satisfaction and everything that we deserve as pharmacists. Thank you so much for your time. So I'm going to put a link, your Instagram and your YouTube in the description box. Thank you once again and have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me and have a nice rest of the day.